Okay.
We did it!
We did it!
Did we win Curse of Strahd?
I think so.
That's it. That's it. We won the game. Go home.
We did it!
We did it!
That was the way to break the curse the whole time.
It was the
Get
only
some
way.
Cute new outfits.
I want
Strahd
some.
was just
I
so
want
blown
some
away.
character art. Need some character art. Maybe we can get brand new cutouts, you guys.
Hey, I drew mine already.
I mean, I already
True.
had one.
You could use those.
Yeah, definitely.
Good.
use them.
I still can't believe you shipped that old lady.
I know.
Oh god, everybody in the chat was going nuts for that old lady.
He was like, oh yeah, this is me. I'm swindling the fuck out of somebody. And he walked in, and it's this old lady. He's just like, God damn it. Like, it had to be you. And
Sweet old lady.
so in essence, he kind of justified it. Like, he's like, well, she doesn't need these glasses. She doesn't probably need this dream catcher. Now she has a hammer, and I'll just fix a few things in her house. Sure.
But now
Like-
she's gonna use the hammer and break stuff.
And, well, now she has a little bit of magic in her life, you know? Something to think about and work towards, and maybe connect her back with her son, you know? Like,
Fake.
That's a lot of assumptions.
she's got something to do. She's old. She's gonna croak in like a year. Easy. Easy.
He's lucky it was only Yogg there. If it was like any of the girls,
I
would have
know.
gotten like death glares, lectures, the whole 9 yards.
Poor Yogg's like, hey, that's a pretty cool hammer.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't know
It's
you had
just
a
like-
magic hammer, Chance. That's pretty cool.
It's just
Oh.
like, yes, I did. Lots of cool stuff all my very honest companions have.
Yeah, right.
That hammer would have been really nice to know when we were fixing the wheel on the cart.
I also had no idea that that I had hunting traps in my inventory, and poor Yogg's out there chasing rabbits and boar with javelins.
He sure as hell doesn't have the fucking patience to set a trap. It's like,
Yeah,
he's
so
just
you're probably right.
he prefers just running after things with a rock.
Back to his throw squirrel days.
Oh my fucking Christ.
We played Throw Burrito as a group, and it is one of the funniest fucking games. We laughed.
Jeez,
We laughed so hard.
absolutely.
We were sweating. We were just almost in tears laughing. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I swear that is by far one of the best gifts I've gotten in quite a while.
One of my friends, my roommate, was like, on the ground on all fours. He'd already like missed his burrito, and the guy's like standing above him trying to like get a good angle to throw a burrito at him. But you can't have the guy catch it. And so he just looks up. He's like, "Do it!" It's just all the screaming. It was just ridiculous. Like,
I mean, you should honestly see how it was the first few times me and my mates played it. Like, one of the currently banned strategies is literally take off your hoodie and use it as a fucking shield, because it doesn't, because, technically it doesn't count. And even more so, when it hits the hoodie, if you just collapse it, you grab the thing. Like, you catch it in the hoodie.
yeah.
So, like, oh my fucking god.
We
That,
did
and
that
my
with
friends have a
blankets.
really small apartment, so what would always happen was that one, in duels, one would always fuck off into a room, and the other one would just, like, jump out in the hallway. So there would be one head peeking out of the hallway, and one head peeking out of another room, just, like, looking at each other, having a proper, like, Mexican standoff, where neither of them want to come out.
And you don't want to miss with your burrito, because then you're just dead. You're toast. We would do like, the person who chose the duel
Yeah.
would like let the other person choose the terms. And, like, so like, would you like this pillow shield, or would you like to go, or where would you like to stay? It was awesome. We had a good time with it.
All right, and we're recording.
Yes.
Right. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Curse of Strahd. Been a week for you. It's only been 10 minutes for us. And we're gonna dive right back in. Kreskovians bid you farewell. You load up your cart and you start heading out of the town. In the driver's seat are Zhana and Hildy, and in the back are Nyla, Chance, and Yogg, admiring their bits and pieces, or embroidering, as it were. You guys come to the first intersection, second intersection. You start heading down the path. Long straightaway that takes you to the gates of Kresk. Passing by the house with a beautiful garden in the back. And some of the kids wave to you as you go by. Some of the younger ones that don't quite know what's going on. I need everyone to roll a perception check.
Zhana, you got this?
Nope. Nope.
Oh, the natural one for me.
Oh my god.
Ah,
Oh,
shit.
man.
Are you the drivers? Do you know where you're going?
The two drivers. We're too busy talking. We're too busy catching up.
Yeah, you're actually talking. You're taking this time to talk to one another and talk about what you got and what you heard, and that's just gonna do it. Oh my god, Yogg!
It's too easy.
20 perception roll.
He's just fucking omnipresent.
Right. Those in the front, as you travel down this road and your horse, you're busy talking and catching up. For you in the back, Nyla, Chance, hear music in the distance. Yogg, this is the second time you've heard it, and this time you actually stop what you're doing for a moment and peek your head and turn your ears. You know the exact direction it's coming from.
Ayog for once is just going to pipe up and say, could you slow down for a second? I think I heard something.
I don't hear anything. Do you, Hildegard?
Yeah, let's just stop it. Let's just humor him.
Oh, okay. What did you hear?
Well, it's really weird because it almost sounds like there's music coming from somewhere in the woods. Usually I would just brush it off, but I think I've heard this before.
If you would like to follow it, roll a survival check with an advantage.
Yoga's just going to hop off the cart and start going towards it.
I'll come with you. I abandon my.
Yeah. Hildy's gonna follow.
I'll park the cart and then I'll follow.
Sure, same thing.
Chen's gonna watch the cart.
You four tread out into the woods. Now, Krez is kind of interesting. It takes you into the countryside, but then there's also a very big forest that stands between the town and where the walls off in the distance creates the barrier for the rest of the world. You follow the sound of music. As you do, you walk through these woods and you start to notice 1, 2, 3, 7, 9 dead wolves lie lifeless in the woods. And as you come upon this scene, you hear a peculiar song. Ascolta melodia me, focus songe mieux, car il te canta la hombre, ormezahis presortata. You reach campsite. Ez, with her cart, is resting against a log of a fallen tree. And as she sings, you see her campsite is cluttered and disturbing. 2 more dead wolves lie on the ground in the camp. Third wolf is pinned to a tree from a crossbow bolt. Several bats lie lifeless on the ground, and a man hangs from a noose on a nearby tree in a slow and grisly demise. He hisses occasionally, chained by manacles behind his back. The undead man as she... And you hear her clank on her little instrument, and she's like, would it kill you to choke in D minor? Gosh. Ezmerelda, forgive me. And she apologizes to several sticks protruding out of the ground, accompanied by rocks with painted faces. And she... would you guys prefer to approach or stealth to kind of encroach on this scene?
I'm not stealthing. Fuck that.
Oh,
All right. You guys walk into the camp.
I mean, I couldn't even if I tried.
You walk into the camp, and yeah, 1.5 empty bottles of grape mash rest beside her, and she's like, buona Giorgio. She's not armored. She's relaxing with her feet up, and she's on a little mandolin.
Hi. This is a weird thing to stumble across. And just like looking around at like all the dead stuff.
It happens in the night sometimes, yeah? And she gets up, stretches, you hear oh, my back is killing me. And she kind of stumbles a little bit, and it's very clear that Ez is drunk.
Oh boy.
Well, look at you. Ain't you all a sight for sore eyes? And she kind of sizes you up.
Yeah, we went shopping. You like them?
Not bad, not bad. And she kind of gives you all an approving nod, which is more than she gives you usually.
How much have you been drinking?
I had a, you know, it was like a shot, and she like kind of like kicks one of the empty bottles behind a rock. All right, where are you all off headed to that you are going? And she rests against her Vardo. Cadet is off in the distance, kind of munching on something.
Well, we were kind of waiting for you. And, you know, you, like, disappeared mysteriously off into the night.
Well,
What happened here?
Unbeknownst to you folk, Rezig is a place that, apparently any creatures like to sneak their little heads into. Ain't that right? I call him Spencer. And she points to the guy hanging by a noose.
Oh my god.
So he's a vampire.
That's right. Listen carefully. Oh, I'm so sorry. And she kind of slinks an arm around Yogg, you're 1, Nyla, you're 2, Hilda, you're 3, Zhana, you're 4. I'm gonna roll a d4. Nyla, she slinks an arm around Nyla and brings you in like a drunk compatriot. She's like, I do apologize. I'm so sorry. I forgot to introduce you to the family. See, there's Mia Vardo, there's Papa Yana, Sema Yana, and she's like going off in her paternal language as she like introduces you to every stick, stone, and pebble surrounding the campfire.
Nyla is not fazed by this at all, being as she works in a tavern. And this sort of behavior probably she sees all the time. So
That's awesome.
kind of like puts her arm around her, like pats her shoulders, like, wow, that's really cool, Ez. I'm really happy that you're introducing us all your friends. Do you wanna come with us?
What, with you?
Yeah.
No, you need to come here because I ain't going anywhere. Fun! It's the holiday!
What? Really?
This is Lunaset, Nyla, she says with a Barovian accent. This is the day after the full moon. We honor it by resting. We travel always, but this is the day we do not. And so, I'm gonna take this day, teach you all a thing or two. Now, listen carefully. She kind of excuse me. I'm gonna teach you a little trick of my trade. See, this is my trade. She kind of like looks around and like shows you all the dead things that surround her camp.
Okay.
This man over here, she kind of like uses the end of like she pulls out a silver hatchet and lifts his lip with it, and she shows you guys the fanged teeth. This here's a vampire. There are many ways to kill them, and then there are many ways where you think you kill them, and then they're not dead. Now, if I'm going to Vallaki with you, because for God knows whatever reason, I can't seem to part ways with you, I guess you might call it fate.
We're friends.
Yeah. I'm gonna make damn sure that from here on out, I feel comfortable and confident that there will be some proper coordination with your battles, because I don't see no communication when we went infiltrating the Wizards of the Wine, or when we went and fought that goddamn disaster on that hill.
I thought we did a good job.
Like,
everything on the fly, if that's the right word.
Yeah, you know, like improv.
It was a little hard to make a plan with one of us charmed.
You know, planning is for people who have time to think before they fight.
Okay, you have something to show us that you can show it. You can show us. Go ahead.
Wait a minute. She kind of like squints her eyes and looks at you. And it like takes longer than 7 seconds. One of y'all's missing.
Oh yeah, Chance. He's with the card.
Do you want me to go get him?
I think that would be best, because we need to have ourselves a little chat.
Okay, I'll be right back. Hildegard, can you please watch and supervise?
Supervise
Sure.
Nothing. I better go get Chance. Go get Chance.
See Ezmerelda in her drunken stature starting to toss up her silver hatchet and catch it, and toss it and catch it, and toss it and catch it.
I'm not gonna heal you if you stab yourself in the face with it.
She says, fine. She tosses it, kind of catches the end of the hatchet on the bottom of her boot, and kicks it into a tree where it like embedding itself into this tree.
Show off.
Sits back
That's
down.
pretty cool. So are you in a good mood or a bad mood? I can't tell.
I'm fantastic. This is a holiday. Here, you should be drinking. She tosses you a bottle of grape mash. Cheap wine.
I'll drink it.
Vistana's very welcome. She's like, hey. She starts playing her little instrument.
Can you like travel and also rest? Like if we drive your cart for you and you just like hang out in the back while we travel, does that count?
Can I give her advantage by saying we're a bit in a bit of a hurry? 25.
Nyla, you know things about me some of these folks don't. And she kind of, a real honest moment, she gestures around to the sticks and stones around her campfire. We Vistana have traditions, you know. My caravan had traditions, and she points to them all.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to honor that,
I guess I don't really know what your traditions are, so maybe if you told me what they were, maybe we could, adapt. So they're the same, but we can still get to where we need to go.
Full tide.
This
is the cycle of the full moon. Had it the last 3 nights. Luna set. Day after the full moon. This is where we rest. Travel. Always. Everywhere. And she's starting to slur into a Barovian accent, which is a little bizarre. We travel everywhere, you see. This place we call home. But, well... kind of takes a moment and starts thinking. You see her mind going to dark places, and she will make something work.
Yeah, I mean, you can figure out. Maybe would it be kind of like honoring to them if you've like talked about them. Oh, does that count? I kind of understand why you want to. I get that. Just like pat her on the shoulder.
I'm the last one of my tribe. Is that what you want to hear?
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about that, but you were saying you wanted to honor him, so if you wanted to think about other things.
Yeah, they're fine.
Good things.
Dead anyways. Hey, stop doing that sweet thing. She like gets up and is like, ah.
Yeah, whatever you want though. I mean, I get it.
Fine. I'll rest. You drive.
Yes.
Why do you sound different?
Sound different what? I sound the same. She's like,
Not exactly.
she's like doing a shitty job at bluffing.
Your accent is different.
Right. Let me, she kind of like, there, do I sound normal now?
If that's what normal is for you, then yes.
You can roll an insight and or a persuasion to get her to open up. The DC is a little higher because it's Ez, but she is drunk, so
I'm gonna go with insight because I didn't really have any luck with perception so far. Or persuasion, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll still go with insight.
Meanwhile,
Dang
Zhana
it.
and Chance are talking at a card.
11.
Low, you may have rolled. You can't shake the feeling. It sounds like that was Ez's native, natural accent.
Yeah. She's not gonna push it.
All right. And after some time, Chance and Zhana show up. The way through the woods is a little tricky, but you eventually get the cart through, and Ez is kind of waiting. Well, there he is.
How are you, Ez?
And she bows low, having the time of my life.
Yeah.
Have you met the family? And she gestures to the sticks and pebbles.
He's kind of like licking his lips a little bit, like looking around, like Jesus. Yeah. But they'll give her his attention.
She says sarcastically, but then she turns her attention and gestures to the man, perpetually like choking to death and then coming back to life and then choking to death and then coming back to life. Come now, take a seat. Gather around the fire. Let old Ez tell you a little tale.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you can tell us your story. We can get whatever you need here, and then we can go, and I'll drive the car. Yeah?
Told you once, I told you before, Blondie. I ain't traveling with you proper until we establish a few ground rules.
Sure. I mean, do that. I'm just making sure all on the same page.
Despite Ez being drunk, she puts her hands behind her back and starts pacing. She's just in her regular clothes. Little red in her hair with the headband. That's about it. All right, listen up. I traveled with you guys to the Wizards of the Wine. Best I saw... Wait, what?
Oh, yuck.
Okay. Alright. Back when we traveled together for the Wizards of the Wine, I noticed a few things. One, I'll kind of go with the flow. You aren't exactly coordinated as the next person would like to think.
Thank you.
That don't sit right with me. The way I see it, things will only get harder from here. We need to be on the same page if we're gonna keep cozy like this. Fought side by side with you, but I'm still trying to figure you lot out. How do you get along without battle plans? Who takes the front line, and where do the rest of you fall? These are the things I need to know if I'm going to keep with you. Not exactly gonna waltz into Castle Ravenloft, are you?
That was an option. I don't know.
See, this is exactly why he doesn't work with other people. I'm starting to get it. So funny that way. Listen, things are going to get harder from here. We need to establish strategy and we need to establish some kind of plan. I've heard rumors about what's going on in Vallaki, and she kind of smacks Spencer in the stomach. Spencer over here is not the worst that you're gonna find. There's gonna be other things. That being said, I need you to know how to kill a vampire. 2 things. 1, and she pulls out a boot dagger and cuts him through the chest. Observe. And she kind of opens the chest and watch for about a solid minute and his wounds start to knit up. They heal over time. 2. Boing, 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 boing. She boings the cable around his neck. Can't kill him by conventional means. Just don't work that way. Not with the way they heal. There are 2 things, well, a few things that vampires don't exactly enjoy. Zhana, can you reach into that pouch over there? Yeah, the one by the wheel. No, other pouch. Yeah, on your left. That one right there. Yeah.
Okay.
Pull out a clove of garlic.
I have it in my hand, and I walk towards Ez.
Do you mind just giving our friend Spencer a whiff, please?
Oh, here you go, Spencer.
Like, he's repulsed by the scent. He's like, there's something about it that he's like... Something about these little bulbous roots they don't lack the scent of. Not enough to keep him away, but it's just about enough to root one out of a crowd. You catch my 6?
Yeah.
Good. Next up, notice there's something peculiar about this place. Look to the sky if you can see it right there. It's daytime. She looks around. There's clouds everywhere. There ain't no sun here to lure them down, kill them out. That sunlight burn the ever-loving heck out of them. Same with running water. Throw one of these bad boys into a river, she pats Spencer. Bound to go down. However, there is one problem. Ez is going to, casually meander over to the tree, drunkenly, like, put her foot up and pull her hatchet out. Meander back over to Spencer. Donna, you still have that... You still have that sword?
Yes, I do.
Would you kindly have that at the ready, please?
I take it out.
Feels heavy in your arms. Now, nobody panic and watch very carefully.
Chance is definitely panicking. Like, he's looking around like, wait, no. Maybe cool down like a little bit.
I feel like Nyla is panicking. Just
like, you're watching a drunk friend just about to do something very dangerous. You're like, whoa, maybe that's not a good idea. Like, he's kind of trying to stand up a little bit.
Meanwhile, Zhana's just like, okay, I see where you're going, and is kind of just like, okay.
Calm down. And she's gonna grab Spencer by the head, pull him down, and bring the hatchet down. 1, 2, 3. And the vampire falls headless to the ground, and you notice that it starts to smoke and turn into this mist. Now, Zhana, would you kindly, with the sword right there?
I do it. Shine. And the light expands from the sword.
Daylight, bright light shines in the area. You don't remember seeing colors this bright. As explains, almost like a PowerPoint presentation behind her, she says, when killed, they revert to something called a mist form, and there they seek the shelter of their original site of death. It's like a coffin, or a grave, or a something. Now, nothing ordinary traditionally would be able to inhabit these creatures or stop them from such a venture, as they can move at the rate of fog. However, if you will look over with Miss Zhana and her sword, she is emitting a special kind of light here, which will then, 3, 2, 1, and you notice the fog kind of like incinerate in daylight. Chapter 6, Van Richten's Guide to Killing Monsters, page 74. Vampires are often undone by non-mundane effects that requires magic, sunlight, running water, you name it. Now, we're going to be facing a lot of these foes. We need to have these tools on our side, and we know how to use them in proper coordination. Any questions so far?
Nyla raises her hand.
Points to you with a bloody hatchet.
So now it's dead? For real now?
That's right.
Okay. She seems super uncomfortable.
Chance raises his hand too, like a school kid.
Yeah, she points to you with a bloody hatchet.
Yeah, where did you find him?
Where do you think I found him?
Well, that's a bloody good question. I'm not sure.
That's why he asked a question. She does this all the time.
Oh,
Well, you said he was trying to break into craft.
Every night for the past 6 nights that I've been with you, or was it 5? Maybe was it 4? I can't remember. Every night since I've been traveling with you all, I tend to do this thing where I go out. I go out on a little ride. What you don't know is on these rides, I'm doing a perimeter. Never feel comfortable in one place, you see. It's a cultural thing, you understand. Every night I've ever been out, I've been noticing that y'all have been followed. There seems to be a spawn keeping tabs on you every night. And I have a little fun with my hatchet. But I figured since today is a holiday, I'd keep this one around just long enough to tell you how to do them in yourself in case you traveled along without me, we part ways, something goes wrong. Looks like you've kind of gotten a little popular among these parts.
Did you find out why?
Something, keeping tabs on you, something, you have something somebody wants, something, you're a threat to this land, blah, blah, blah.
So Strahd might have sent them.
Which means that maybe every night before you hit Kresk, something was leaked about what was going on with y'all. I mean, if y'all are that special, I can't imagine what you could have possibly done to anger the Dark Lord himself.
We did interrupt his crazy, weird tree ritual. If you remember. You were there.
He was after Ireena.
Oh yeah, that's it.
All right, that right there, and she gets on. She puts a knee up on the log, and she points to you, Zhana. That right there is something y'all haven't been telling me. Why are you here in this land? What's going on with those people up in there?
I told you.
I know you told me, but I didn't hear much about the other one.
Oh, okay.
Well, we weren't exactly brought to this land by choice. We sort of just ended up here.
Yep.
We met a man named Ismark who his sister Ireena was being harassed by Strahd, like, for several nights, I think. And he wanted us to escort his sister to a safer city, like Valaki or anywhere safer than in the city of Barovia.
Yeah, just like get her away from Strahd.
Yeah. So we did. With her, we traveled to Valaki, but Strahd did bite her, I think.
Ezmerelda stops.
And we kind of... A lot's happened. Ismark ended up dying. I don't know how, but his head was severed.
The head in the box I told you about earlier.
And we could see Ireena changing slowly, and we thought maybe we could cure her. And we heard rumors about the abbot here. And That's why we brought her here. Right now, she's asleep, I think.
Interesting. Yep. Interesting. She kind of starts looking over at Chance. Trying to get a read on you.
He's pretty stern watching us. He does not trust Ezmerelda, and he's worried that she'll try to take things into her own hands. So he withheld this specifically, and he's kind of watching. Zhana mentioned it, but he's just kind of quiet.
You have this unspoken moment. There's a bit of a pause. Well, as far as I know, there is no cure for the actual condition. Stake through the heart would do it. But rumor has it that if you kill Master Vampire behind the bite, curse is lifted.
That's kind of what we were thinking, maybe.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been saying. Wow, and I didn't even know it. I was just kind of guessing.
Yeah, we had a fella tell us in Vallaki.
Oh, we did? Oh yeah, that one guy.
And Madame Ava told us that we were going to end up fighting him eventually, so we thought maybe we were supposed to.
Well, you said you've been looking for this stake.
Yes.
Yep.
The abbot says he can cure her?
So he says. But I'm not sure.
Interesting.
Oh, I can't exactly trust the fella.
I can't trust a lot of people around here.
Oh, that's the thing, though. I think he was actually a Deva?
What?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Deva?
Yeah.
Barovia?
Because Hildegard and Chance said he turned into, like, something with, like, much bigger with wings, and to what I could tell, it sounded like an angel.
Well, this land plays tricks on you, but, that don't make no sense.
I trust Hildegard.
Well, and he's like, yeah, and he's like powerful enough to like freeze Reuven and Ireena in the state that they're in, so they don't progress any worse. You know, that seems like something someone powerful can do, I guess, right?
Well, your friend over there has the ability to lift a werewolf's curse. That one over there can change the weather, and that one can turn into giant beasts.
Yeah, true, I guess.
Well, either way, it seems like you're making way for Vallaki. Last I checked, Vistana aren't welcome in her gates, and neither are you.
Oh, yeah.
I probably have a friend in there that could help us.
What?
Maybe. It's a long shot, but I think.
Who?
Do you remember Isaac? Or is it Isaac?
Yeah, I remember him.
That's a bit of a friend, Jav.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the guy that...
You guys don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Was like, I'll break your leg.
Yeah.
That guy, yeah.
Yeah, well, I managed to buy us some time to get out of there. He agreed to it, so I don't know. I got a feeling that maybe he could help us a little more. I'm not sure.
I don't know. He was a creep, though. He was like really creepy with you. I did not like that.
I mean, I agree, but he still listened to me in the end.
Yeah, I guess. Like, bat your eyes a little bit, and then just run away as soon as he turns around.
And since when did Vistana need an invitation to go somewhere? Just because they ain't allowed doesn't mean they don't know a way in, maybe? There was a Vistana camp nearby. I'm sure they've got something. Maybe an introduction, eh?
Pretty good try. I've been trying to avoid them, if I can help it.
Why?
Oh, why?
It's complicated.
Oh, come on. We told you all our stuff. Now it's time for you to tell your stuff.
As who?
Me. Come on.
Roll persuasion.
Well, it would help us. Oh, I was going to try to give you the help action, but okay.
Oh, sorry.
What do you want to know? And for once, there is an open dialogue between the party and Ez where she will answer some of your questions truthfully.
Well, why are you trying to avoid these?
Familiar with the Vistana, right?
I mean, so
You know what they say about us?
is it what we just heard in town? About the whole, like, secret servants of Strahd thing?
Ain't no secret. It's all true.
Oh, what? Really?
Some of the Vistana revere him as their king. They're willing to do his beck and call, and for that we are allowed freedom of Barovia where we may go and where we may please. Now, things are, have been that way for a while, right? Many Vistana have, turned to him as a patron of sorts. Their eyes are his, their ears are his. And they're willing to do his bidding at whatever cost.
Is Madame Eva one of these Vistana?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been avoiding camps ever since.
Yeah, would they know that, like, you don't like Strahd?
I've been keeping a low profile if you haven't noticed. I haven't traded words with many. I don't stay anywhere for too long. Try to keep my trail small, but my work does tend to trade hands and mouths.
Yeah. Do you think they'd like try and hurt you if they found out that you like with them?
Nyla, pretend you have a cousin. Cousin on your mother's side.
Sure.
Very familiar with this cousin. You're familiar with that family. You know what they do. Stories have been passed down from generation to generation. It's all you've ever learned. Family, family, family. Suddenly you find yourselves on opposite ends of a war. It'd be enough to give you pause, but if that's the way it has to be, he shrugs. The way it has to be. If there was ever an intention, that just means that Vistana try to avoid other Vistana in unfriendly means, but she's kind of rambling now and going off, getting a little distant. Anyways, just try to keep my nose out of trouble.
Okay. So, are you gonna... So really what you've been doing when you've been leaving is you've just been patrolling around?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah.
It's like an instinct. Get itchy if I stay in one place for too long. Except for today. Today I can stay. Sadly, it's the day you have to go. What a shame.
Well, it... Like... I'm kind of worried about Hild.
What's wrong with Hildy?
You should tell her, Hildy. Maybe she'll know.
I've been having these visions of a windmill we went to. There was this obelisk, a voice, I couldn't quite tell, calling me to it, and I keep having those visions every time I go to sleep, and I have been feeling weaker.
Weaker? What do you mean?
I forgot how you explained it, Grace.
If your connection were a series of threads weaving into a grand design that connect you to a special power, a special pillar of faith, one of those threads is snapped in a reasonable way where it's enough to feel the lack of a first level spell slot.
Essentially, that's what she says, holding up her holy symbol of the Raven Queen, and...
Is that so? Think it could have been because of that new doodad you got?
I don't think so. I've been carrying it for a while, and those visions only started recently.
So you need to get back to that windmill, is that what I understand?
Yeah.
So you ain't stopping in Vallaki?
Well, we kind of wondered if maybe we would stop and, look for your guy. And if we don't see him, then we can keep going.
I don't know how much longer I have or how worse this could get.
I guarantee we ain't gonna find him in a day.
Really? I mean, it's a guy with a monkey. Like, not everyone.
There's also the card Chance got from the tree.
Turns to you, Chance.
Yeah, I'll just need to stop by the lake. Should be near Vallaki, if I remember correctly.
It's there.
A weapon of some sort. It might
What
be
the
useful.
card tells you.
Well, it said something of the nature of there was some sort of artifact or a weapon that could be found in the lake or around the lake.
I mean, if it looks really bad, Hildy could go straight to the windmill and then back up after we're done dealing with whatever that is. Then we could stop by the lake and then.
I can't just leave you guys in the city. I would have no way of knowing if you guys are okay or if I could even come back to you.
No. I'm saying all of us go. We wouldn't just no. Going by yourself. I'm not saying that.
My bad.
Yeah.
Well, let's take the time right now. She kind of goes into her little vardo. She pulls out a box lined with silks. Let's take a moment to pick a path. Then she starts laying out her Taroka cards. Here are your options. As she starts to read your fortune cinematically, realistically, you're creating a plan. Hildy, you don't know how much time you have. It seems like your bond to a power source is weakening. Chance, you have a card that takes you to a lake. Seems like the promise of some kind of treasure is held, though it shows the picture of a stormy sea and a strange tentacled beastie. In Vallaki, you are wanted. Inside are many interests relating to Ez, as well as several of your party members. Could be also another way to gather allies this oncoming battle. Down the way is the old bone grinder. This seems to be the point of Hildy's interest. It's coming back towards the village of Barovia, but it's also passing by Castle Strahd.
Well, I suggest we head toward Vallaki. We'll see if we can find a way in. If we can't, we might be looping around anyway. It's better that we don't backtrack. We'll see if whatever's going on progresses further. If it's alarming, we can go to the bone grinder. But if it can be managed, we should probably stick to one path. Linear-like.
I mean, Hildy, isn't it kind of too? Like, how scared are you of this? Like, is this, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is this?
You see her just, she looked really tense and then her shoulders just droop. And, there's just, her expression cracks a little. I'm terrified.
Nods.
I don't know how fast this is going to be. But if I'm being honest with all of you, this is scaring the shit out of me.
Then maybe we should decide once and for all. Do we want to reject Strahd's invitation?
What does that have to do with this?
Well, it's a limiting factor.
We can always do that later. There's always later for that.
Yeah. I don't know, Hildy, if this is freaking you out so much, maybe, who cares if we backtrack? Doesn't that matter? I mean, what if we just, went and dealt with this, at least to see what was going on for.
Hildy, pick a card. Ezmerelda fans out her hand.
You see that she concentrates, from, even when they were with Madame, she took the readings very seriously, so she takes a moment, running her fingers on top of the cards, the fingertips, and when it feels right, she just flips one over.
Ezmerelda brings the cards back with a flourish of the flip and a shuffle of the cards. And card turns up for you. This card is the Void. How interesting. Void is an interesting card. Does not necessarily mean death or demise in certain instances, but if I'm to read this right, your fortune tells of an impending doom. Nothingness, if you will. Power's draining, Hildy. Seems like it will continue to do so until there's nothing left. If there's a clue and a chance that something, no pun intended, she like turns to Chance.
Are we always gonna say that?
As well. That's a very big part of her vocabulary. You may not know this, but I've been in Barovia long enough to tell you this land will play tricks on you. Things here aren't the same as they are outside this land. Something's after you, Hildy. You gotta get rid of it. Sounds like you got some kind of a parasite. He flips the card over, and shockingly, it's not the back of a Taroka card, it's another card, like Ezmerelda just did a magic trick before you. This card is the Hierophant. Looks like new paths are forging for you, Hildy. You gotta get down there. You're gonna be true to yourself. The old bone grinder should be your priority. That depends on you, Chance. She turns to Chance. How much weight are you willing to put into that card of yours?
He kind of frowns a bit. He's like, look, if I had to choose between a weapon and Hildy, I'd rather have Hildy. Well, I'll help her first.
Ezmerelda takes the cards and shuffles them back into her deck and bridges them and puts them right and closes the silk box. Seems like your next destination is the old bone grinder.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in. I mean, we should... If this is really bad for Hildy, then we definitely should just take care of it.
Yeah.
We took care of it once. We could probably do it again.
It's settled.
Do we want to go straight there?
No point in wasting time. If it's serious, let's go.
Oh, we're wasting daylight. All right. Cadet, up! And Ezmerelda starts loading her wagon. She douses the fire, stomps it out with some dirt. Nothing out here is pretty much scattered aside from her couple bags and her mandolin. There's no silks, there's no streamers or banners. It's just what it is. Oh, one more thing. She pulls down the grappling hook that was holding the man there and ties it up, and she's like, all right, who's driving?
I mean, I can drive if you want. You gonna sleep? Did you need anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
Nothing here.
Sorry you can't rest today.
All right. I'm gonna be honest with myself. Abandoned a lot of traditions the moment I started my new life.
Yeah. Didn't get help to make, like, cool new ones?
I don't know if that's allowed.
Oh, yeah. It's allowed.
Well, traditions are passed down from family. I don't think I'm the type for kids, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
She kind of sighs and goes into her. Vardo, Nyla, you're driving. Who else wants to ride with Ez? Other than that, y'all get back on your cart.
Chance will ride with Ez.
Can I just, before Chance can go to Ez, I'm just gonna hold him back for a second. First of all, thank you. Second, she pulls out the diamond, shows it to him. This is for Ireena. Initially, I'm keeping it with me right now, just in case I need to use it to bring any of you back to life, if ever necessary. But this can probably also save her. If we find that we can't trust the abbot, or he can't help her, or he has any more of those stupid quests that he wants to thrust upon us, this is gonna be our ticket out, okay?
he kind of smiles a bit, and he's like, "You know, Hildy, despite what you might think, I do care about you. Besides," and he kind of just like, pats her on the shoulder and keeps going like towards the caravan. "I don't believe in cards anyway." And he hops on it.
Oh my god.
She kind of turns to the others with like her arms in the air, like, "Why do I bother?" It just puts her diamond back and like, and walks away.
All right, who's driving the other cart?
I am with Hildegard, because I don't think that's going to change.
Dog, you have this luxurious amount of space. You can stretch your legs. You put your cauldron in front of you. There's space to even place out your little envelopes and kind of organize them.
The most organized Yog's ever gonna be.
A whole cart to yourself. Ez walks into the back of her cart, flops onto her bed, and just like, "Ugh, man, I'm tired." She doesn't nap, but she puts her feet up, kicks her boots off, and just kind of rests, and you all start going down the road. Chance, if there's anything you'd like to ask Ez on the road, now's the time. Other than that, traveling is yours. The day is yours as you travel.
I think he's
It's
just
currently
checking
2
out the
p.m.
inside of her caravan, like really curious about a bunch of stuff. But he's just gonna make small talk. He still like doesn't quite trust Ezmerelda, so he's gonna hold off.
You guys are here. You start heading down the road. It's Kresk, and chances you're poking and prodding at some of these things. You see weapons and wardrobes and just tons of alchemical stuff. Like it gets a little crazy. You pass by this some of the woods. You get the feeling that there are eyes watching you everywhere. Bats, owls, wolves of every kind. They're just kind of following you and watching you, and even the trees, you kind of hear shuffling in the woods as they move, very aware of your presence. Along the road, you see a group of villagers, pitchforks, torches, dead, solemn looks in their eyes as they march on in some ambiguous way. Stop and talk to them.
What do you think, Hildy?
I don't really think we have time to bother.
So, let's keep moving.
All right.
Right, you keep going. You pass them by. This group of 3 impoverished people. Get to right about here when night starts to fall. Old Slavic road. In fact, you even traveled a little bit into the night, I'd say. It's currently 10:30 at night. Make camp, or do you travel on?
Maybe we should travel on.
Sure, I would.
Yeah, we can take times to drive, and the others can rest while some are driving.
Oh, that's true. Can we do that? And then that way we don't have to like risk exhaustion or anything?
Sure. Sleep is not easy. Next to these caverns, these carriages aren't very friendly. But as his cart, whoever wants to take the bed, will stay up and sleep on the... No, she's not giving up her bed. You guys.
Can I, while it's my turn to keep watch, like drive or whatever, and cast Eyes of the Grave, sorry. So if I spend one uninterrupted minute in contemplation, and I can determine the presence and nature of undead creatures in the area. It's a 60-foot, I think, radius.
Hildy, just for the sake of your own sanity, I need you to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Ah, Jesus.
Nice.
Steal your soul as world around you lights up like a town square in Christmas. You see blinking lights everywhere, great and small, scattered and clustered as you pass these woods. Weird, even sometimes you'll get the feeling that some small little creature will scurry down the road and you'll get a little nervous, but it'll always pass you. It doesn't seem to want to quite get in your way. Hance, among the things that you kind of observe in Ezmerelda's cart, say you get a little curious, you open a box and inside you find 143 flasks of alchemist fire.
Damn. He will very carefully close that. He also feels like Ez is probably the type of person who has a count of those flasks, so he doesn't pinch one or anything. He's just like, okay, clunk.
I would probably ask if Chance can drive after a while.
Yeah, he'll take over eventually.
Night.
Chance, as you switch places with Nyla, see something large lumbering in the woods. Over here. That doesn't strike you nearly as bad as the sound of screaming from down the road.
Whoa. And he'll kind of like hold up on the horses and then kind of lean over and gunk, 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 knock on the caravan.
Do you hear that? They're screaming. Should we go check it out?
Yeah.
Several people are running down the road. Please help us, someone! You eventually catch up to them, and they make for your cart almost immediately. And it's a woman in her 50s, accompanied by a younger man in his 20s, and a daughter somewhere in her 13. They're like, please help us, give us shelter.
Hold on now, easy. And like he grabs like this heavy crossbow that's been kind of seated next to him, and he's kind of doesn't quite have it pointed at him, but he's very curious to see like what's going on around him. Hold on now, catch your breath, compose yourselves. What's going on?
We've been running for days. And the man beside her pipes up. We need shelter and we need food. We are making our way to Vallaki right now. We are from the village of Barovia.
Did we pass Vallaki?
Yes.
We did.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Because Vallaki was here. It was
A little further down, but yes.
Okay.
Here, maybe.
Stay right there. Hold on. And then he's gonna head back to Nyla and Hildy. He's gonna dismount from the. I guess not Nyla, it'd be Zhana and Hildy from the cart. And he walks over back to the open cart.
Can I do a perception of like their appearance, or like if they're carrying like torches, like so they could see in the dark?
You don't need roll perception, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Basically, withered clothes, dirty bonnets, dresses have been torn. The mother seems to have suffered an arm wound that seems infected. The girl is staying close to her mother. She looks like this dilapidated young thing. The braids of her hair are tizzied and messed up. The man seems to be composing himself, but he hasn't slept in days, and he's very tired. His hands are filthy.
Are there, on their clothing, does it look like their necks are exposed? Do I see any like markings?
That you would roll a perception for.
Okay.
At least none that you can see.
Well, it's a little dark right here, so I'm going to take up the sword and It's going to make 30-foot daylight.
Oh shit! Just whipping out the sun sword.
Yeah, it's way too bright. This is like coming up on like 4 a.m. and it's just like whoa! And you even hear a little bit into the forest. You hear.
Yeah, hold on, Zhana. We're not alone. There's been something else in the woods as well.
What?
Did I sense it with my...
Oh yeah, it's been everywhere.
Yeah, I would have said something.
It doesn't look like they've been hurt or bitten. So I thought maybe the light would keep creatures away from us.
It might be. Look, either way, we can't take them where we're going, but I'm not really willing to let them go either. It might be smart to just head up into the woods, make camp, pull the wagons around. We'll keep watch. Whatever's out there, well, if it comes close, we'll have something to say about it.
What is going on? Ez gets up and looks up. Mother and daughter have collapsed, and the man sees Ezmerelda. Ezmerelda sees this man, and he's like, Vistana. And, of course, Ez rolls her eyes. I have a name, you know.
Yeah, her name's Ez, and she's cool. And I like go get out of the cart. Be like, what? Who are you people? What's going on?
My name is Krautvoy. Krautvoy, this is my mother, this is my sister. We have been escaping terrors of the village of Barovia, which is no longer safe. There's terror all up in these lands. We are traders, we see. We trade between Vallaki and Barovia, and our entire caravan was attacked. Headless rider comes through these lands, and the girl starts crying softly, thinking of what happened, and the mother explains, I lost my brother.
Sorry. So the whole village isn't safe?
I do not know what happened. But maybe a few nights ago there was this clash of thunder, and then we heard hoofsteps. Thought it was devil himself. Still could be, I do not know. But one of his machinations rides through these lands.
Has this only happened at night?
Sometimes during the day too.
Well, let's get you some food and some shelter.
Yeah. We'll take care of you guys tonight. I mean, we're going the opposite way, but you can stay with us. Just.
We should be
rest.
close, but I don't think we should. And he kind of like is saying this. I don't think we should take him to the mill. Better that we set up camp here and sit this night out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
In the morning, if they're fed and they're all right, they might be able to go along their way. They might be able to make it to Vallaki. Either way, we'll do what we can, but there's no sense in going further, and there's no sense in going back.
Alright. You guys set up camp. Give me a moment. And as gets down. The man is very he's ready to spit, and then Ezmerelda does something and starts talking to him, and then all of a sudden, just like magic, it seems like everybody's very willing to talk to Ez. Alright. My name is Ezmerelda Davenier. You might know me by the Huntress, and suddenly they're like, the Huntress? Oh, I've heard of that name. Let's sit down and have a little chat. He's gonna pull them off to the side, and she starts gathering information about their little horse problem. You guys set up camp? The wagons around.
Pull the wagons into like a little semicircle, I guess, and snug them tight and tie the horses up and start making like canopies, I guess, with the I don't know, sheets or whatever we need to like kind of make for sleeping. I'm sure we've made we've made sleeping arrangements out of this wagon a couple of times.
Yeah, you kind of like once or twice have tilt the wagon to the side and even like created like a miniature tent from it to kind of keep out of the weather. And it is cold. It's very cold, and these people are they're not as prepared for the weather. Guys, camp for the night. Who takes watch?
I'll take one.
Better that we maybe double up on this one. Something's out there.
Okay. I'll go to sleep first because it takes shorter for me. And then I can take after you.
Yeah, I'll take one.
All right.
Take your watches. Things don't seem to quite get your goat in the night. Liz stays in camp, and she talks to these folk, and they start spilling stories. Stories that those of you who are taking watch can overhear. Talking about a headless horseman, a man who wields a strange weapon. He rides, thundering hooves through the village of Barovia, up and down the way, through the winding road, into the woods. Many of their livestock have lost their heads. Some of the villagers have lost their heads. Sounds like the clap of thunder whenever he rides, but there's a point. Call it witching hour. Somewhere in the night, the thundering stops for a moment, and it doesn't return until the sunset of the next night. Well, get rest, for the most part. The morning sun rises. Hildy, that night, have a dream again. Calls to you. You're so close. You feel yet another thread break. One more spell slot of the first level.
Jesus. Was there a voice that I recognized this time?
It's a voice you recognize. It's familiar, but it's hard to recognize whom. But it just feels familiar.
Like, can I tell if it's male or female?
I think it's male. At least you think it is. You wake up with this ungodly urge to start digging into the earth.
Yeah, I sit up and I like I don't have any control on my hands, and they're like scratching the earth at my sides, like restlessly, furiously, just like scratching at my sides. But hey guys, silver lining, my rib isn't broken anymore, so yippee.
There we go.
But yeah, so she's, yeah, you just see her like not much conviction in it.
I'll like go over and be like, hey, what why are you doing that? Are you okay?
Yeah.
I don't know. This feels strange. I need to. And then she kind of catches herself, like she realizes what she's doing. Kind of starts picking the dirt from her nails and like, sorry, I had another of those visions.
It's not easy. Morning is difficult, especially when you look up. Now that the gloomy weather of the sun rises behind the dark clouds, there in the distance, a far-off mountain, you can see the faint spires of an elaborate castle on the cliffside. That is where we are going to end today's session.
Very nice.
We'll pick up next time.
Dun, dun, dun.